You may have read something in the last few weeks about how China's whole economy is going to fall apart in the next 30 days and why their debt crisis is getting out of hand. But China did the unthinkable by lowering interest rates and pumping even more money into the economy as a last-ditch effort to stay afloat a little longer. See, they are going through one of the worst housing bubbles in history, and their slowing economy is already having an effect on the rest of the world. There are serious consequences for all of us, and you should know about them. It's not a question of if it will happen, but when, and that's something that needs to be talked about. Welcome to the Financial Flow. Please like and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up on our latest videos. Let's start right away. Until recently, China was on a path that couldn't be stopped. It was going to pass anyone or anything that got in its way. Because of an exchange that happened in 1979, China now has diplomatic ties with the US and by extension, the rest of the world. Because of this, China has been at the forefront of international investment and fast production for the last 30 years. All of a sudden, China and the rest of the world economy had the same goal, and once that door was open, money poured in. Countries from all over the world invested in China's infrastructure. They did this to take advantage of cheap labor and get much needed money into areas that had been closed off. Even though the price of almost everything we use every day went down, the benefits for China were huge. With more trade and investment from around the world, 400 million people were lifted out of poverty. In addition, their economy is 11 times bigger now than it was in 2011, and they grew faster than every other country. They were even called the world's economic miracle during this time. But not everything was as it seemed on the surface, because as China grew, it became more powerful compared to every other country. The more power they had to keep tight control over their businesses, the more leverage they had. The more rules they could make based on what they thought was the best, the harder it was to work with them. In fact, members of the World Trade Organization said that China gives illegal state subsidies to businesses that export their goods, by being unfair to companies that don't buy from Chinese manufacturers, and by taxing raw materials to control supply chains. Even worse, they had said that they were devaluing their own currency by up to 40% so that other countries could buy their goods at a lower price. This, of course, led to economic growth that couldn't last and was about to crash any year. The higher you go, the harder you fall, as the saying goes. Well, nothing shows that better than the way China's economy is doing right now. China is quickly becoming a victim of its own success, and the effects are starting to be felt all over the world. Like, first, let's look at what happens when there is no COVID policy. This literally means that there is no tolerance for the spread of COVID, to the point where China will enforce strict lockdowns, keep tight regulations, and do anything they can to keep the population from getting sick. But it has already started to hurt. The last 3 months have been the worst in years for Chinese stocks. As worries about a global recession grow, their economy has started to lose ground. A shipping backlog has continued to hurt their supply chains, and they don't expect to grow at all. Not only that, but these rules are so strict that everyone in the capital must use a health code app that tells them who can go where and who can't. If your health code turns red, you and anyone you've been in contact with who could also be considered high risk are sent to isolation. Because of these effects, their daily lives are always hard, and the real estate market makes it even harder. China's economy grew quickly, but nothing grew as much as the housing market or prices did from 2001 to 2017. They went up by nearly 700%. In fact, the Chinese government saw that this was becoming a big problem and put rules in place about who could get a loan, but it was too little too late. Big developers took advantage of all excitement about real estate by selling pre-built units that didn't even exist. They did this because they thought that when the units were finally finished, they would be worth a lot more. Citizens bought into completely empty cities as a way to save money, but because of high demand, there was very little oversight to make sure that all of these homes were being built. If the market was continuously rising, developers might sell more pre-built units to raise money. In their worst property downturn on record, sales have completely collapsed. Thus, prior projects are being abandoned, leaving customers to fend for themselves and forcing them to make payments on a property that isn't being built. And finally, the debt bubble was the last nail in the coffin. The Wall Street Journal says that each year from 2014 to 2018, China's debt grew by 20%. Housing prices are almost twice as high as they were before the 2008 financial crisis, and China keeps easing lending rules to keep growth going at all costs, even if it hurts the rest of the world's economy. But here's what's going on right now, and how this could possibly lead to another ticking time bomb. Slowing growth, a sinking housing market, and diminishing demand prompted China to do the unimaginable. It cut interest rates to support growth and injected $60 billion to encourage lending. They guarantee everyone that the government won't use too much money to boost the economy or flood the banking system. The administration will instead strive to stabilize prices and boost the economy. That doesn't mesh with the decreased growth predictions and a zero-COVID strategy, thus China's economy has more room to decline. Their president, who is posed to serve a third term, recently declared he would rather restrict economic growth temporarily than risk people's lives, safety, and health, especially the elderly and children. Others worry that this is just a way to avoid talking about the real problems with the economy, like the fear of spending money. See, for an economy to grow, people need to feel good about their finances so they can buy more things, spend more money, borrow against their assets, and put money back into the economy. China's economy is getting worse, so more and more people are holding back, causing a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's also been said that Beijing's crackdown on real estate developers' use of debt affects how people see their own wealth, since most of it is tied up in real estate. This is especially true when 96% of the Chinese population sees a real estate market that has been going down for 11 straight months. Mortgage boycotts reduce home buying, according to Goldman Sachs. This has resulted to 28.8% fewer sales, indicating a loss of trust in the housing market and the economy as a whole. Lowering interest rates won't cure this. On top of that, oil prices are falling because people think China's economy is declining. China consumes 15% of the world's oil and imports the most crude, so that if they slow down there, the rest of the world could do the same. So what does that mean for all of you watching, and how could it affect all of us in the US? Well, besides the fact that less oil is being used, means gas prices will go down. There are a few key things to watch out for. The first way is for Chinese stocks to be taken off the US stock exchange. Just in the last few days, 5 state-owned companies were taken off the US stock market. They did this because of high administrative costs and burdens. However, this happened just a few months after the SEC warned those companies that they didn't meet US auditing standards. This makes people think that maybe more businesses are about to do the same. So if a company wants to be publicly traded in the US, it has to follow strict disclosure rules, which include having a third-party audit done regularly to make sure the information is accurate and clear. As of right now, 261 Chinese stocks could be cut if they don't comply, which is a real possibility that we could be ready for. All in all, China's response was that they don't want foreign regulators to check on local accounting firms because it's bad for national security. Now that the clock is starting to tick, China needs to comply or over $1 trillion could be taken off US-based markets. Second, it may take a while to play out. Since China publishes its own data and controls its economy tightly, there's no guarantee they won't keep delaying things. They can spend as much as needed to temporarily repair the problem. China's faltering GDP and a global recession could reduce price hike demand. Using less resources could halt or reverse inflation. Many of them are broad assumptions without definite timelines, but it's a warning indication that we won't know the full effects of what's coming until it's probably too late. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Have a good one.